So, hello everyone. Welcome back to Nicole Myths, Astrology and Tarot. We are doing a person 1, person 2 reading cards and divine time. All right, now I will say this before I get into the message. I pulled from the Fairies Oracle by Brian Froud to get some kind of insight into who these individuals are. And then I pulled guidance for each of them as well. I pulled from Rumi Oracle for person number 1, and I pulled from the Black Moon Astrology cards for person number 2. Person number 1 got very feminine energy cards. Okay, the Guardian of the Gate is androgynous, but the Spirit Dancer is very feminine, and so is the Victory of Miriam. There's very feminine energies on those cards. Person number 2 got Sylvanius and the Piper, as well as Saturn, and the image of Saturn or Kronos is on the card. So the very masculine energies. If for whatever reason you don't really have a person 2 in mind, and it really is in mind because as much as you could be dealing with someone in your reality, this could very well apply to someone who's in your immediate reality, your physical reality. Oftentimes these kinds of messages can also apply to someone who is specifically on our minds that we can't really get off our mind even if we wanted to. So keep it in mind that you may be dealing with not just a person 1 or person 2 type energy, but if you really don't have anybody in your mind or in your environment like that you would consider a person number 2, because these energies are so distinctly feminine and masculine, you could definitely take this reading as like a divine duality within message, all right, that you're receiving in divine time, your own inner feminine in person number 1 and your own masculine in person number 2. All right, so that you can better understand where your heart space and your head space is. If you want to take it that way, you absolutely can. And I was just guided to make sure y'all know that going into the reading. All right, so take it as it resonates for you, whether you're receiving this message from a oneness perspective, or you're receiving this message as a mirror, right, for what is going on with you and your other person, either on your mind or in your reality. All right, take it as it resonates. If it doesn't resonate, just leave it alone. Just leave it alone, let it go, find something else that does, right? So, getting into person number 1, we have the Guardian of the Gate and Spirit Dancer from Brian Froud's The Fairies Oracle. Cards 3 and 36. The Victory of Miriam I will get to at the end, or I'll be doing the guidance cards at the end. So the Guardian of the Gate is about passages to new life, openings, and gatekeeping. Person number 1 may be moving into a completely new life, a new way of life. They could also be opening the door for someone else to move through. The Guardian of the Gate will never push anybody through the door or pull anybody through the door, but they will always open the door. It's their job to open the door. Okay, so there's either a door opening for person number 1, or person number 1 is literally being the guardian at the gate and opening the door for someone else to walk through, metaphorically speaking, right? Spirit Dancer is all about self-expression, freedom, and exploration. Now, as we learn and we grow, Spirit Dancer is about understanding how your inner world, your self-expression and your freedom in your inner world translates to the creativity that manifests from your energy in your outer world. Okay, so there's this inner creative force that manifests creatively in the outer, the inner reflecting in the outer. It's an acknowledgement of that. So person number 1 being in this energy of opening doors and new life, new beginnings, right? Openings, opportunities, and having things reflect in the outer from the inner. I do feel like person number 1 is of a new vibration, whether that vibration is elevating or descending, okay? Because it can go either way. Person number 1 may be transforming their reality and opening new doors based on very beautiful inner energy that is growing and elevating. And that's a beautiful thing, because their whole new life is going to be with new energies, new connections, new environments that allow them to be more consistent or more truthful about their inner peace being such a priority, right? It's allowing them to become more consistent, right, in their elevation. If person number 1 is on the dissension, okay, and their energy is dropping and they have forgotten who they are, why they do what they do, if they lost sight of the importance of monitoring their own energy and being consciously aware of why they're doing what they're doing, and they're falling back into shadow, chaos, disarray, and they're lying to themselves or lying to other people. They're not facing the obvious problems in their reality of their own energy. They're ignoring their problems, right? They would be on a dissension, in which case a door would be opening for them to walk into a reality that mirrors or creatively matches their vibration. They are no longer in the vibration of maintaining the reality they were in. So they've opened a door to a new reality to match their inner vibration, right? So person number 1, whether you're on the up and up or you're on the downward spiral, please be aware that you are manifesting what you're manifesting because your inner world, your vibration said so. Okay? Your vibration said so. With that, getting into the tarot, I've used the Star Tarot and the Lynn Strider Tarot for insights and clarification. Okay. For person number 1, we have the 8 of Swords clarified by the Page of Cups. We have the Hierophant clarified by the 8 of Pentacles. And we have the Tower card clarified by the 4 of Swords. Now, the 4 of Swords has this lion type energy on it. And I couldn't help feeling as if they're taking a lesson from Saturn. Okay, Saturn being in Aquarius. Especially because that energy is out on person number 2. And because we have certain things going on, because I told y'all in the 1 minute intro leading up to me even opening the video, right? To be aware of the cosmos, be aware of your birth charts and different things like that. There's Taurean energy here and Mars energy here, which is really indicative of what is actually going on at this specific now moment, moving into the conjunction of Mars, Uranus, and North Node, okay, at the time this is recording. That's coming up on August 1st in about a week, okay, if we're talking about actual time. If you catch this in divine time, it's because something is going on in your reality that is connecting back to these current energies, all right? So keep it in mind. Keep it in mind because time runs in a spiral. So no matter when you are catching this, these energies that are going on now are going to be significant to what you're going through whenever you catch this. But these energies with Mars and Taurus going on, and this Aquarian type energy with the 4 of Swords, because it reminds me of a King of Swords, which is Aquarian energy. but it's definitely the Four of Swords. Okay, so the Eight of Swords clarified by the Page of Cups. I feel as though person number one may be dealing with someone younger than them walking away from them or moving away from them. Okay, just because of the way the card appears with this Page of Cups. It may be a minor communication that they are completely trapped in their head about. There could definitely be a voice of conscience inside the self that is letting you know, hey, it's okay. Everything is happening for a reason. If people are walking away, let them, right? Gatekeeper, guardian of the gate energy. Let them walk away. Let them realign somewhere else so that you can realign where you're going. You know, like pieces are moving. I do feel, especially because this particular Page of Cups has this weird, almost like ghastly looking rabbit peeking out from behind her, and a fish swimming upside down above her head. I mean, this could be some really weird, like Piscean attachment energy. It could be some really odd attachment energy. Especially if you've felt like a protector of someone that obviously doesn't need your protecting. Okay, like they're moving through a door where you're not going with them, or vice versa. You're moving through a door and they're not coming with you. Okay, there seems to be some kind of mental block that spirit is doing its best to give you the higher perspective on, especially with the angel, Archangel Michael there, through the eagle symbolism, right? The eagle symbolism is indicative of Archangel Michael, and it's the first thing I thought of when I saw it. So it's almost like this protective energy that might not be perceived as a protective energy. All right, you're being divinely protected. If someone is walking out of your life or vice versa, it's because the energy is being protected. Whether they're on the up and up and you're on the downward spiral and the divine is protecting them from your downward spiral, or vice versa, where your energy is elevating and going up and improving and you're manifesting wonderful, beautiful situations that are peaceful and loving, and full of abundance, right? And your energy is being protected from the lower energy they're spiraling down into. Okay. Then we have the Hierophant, clarified by the Eight of Pentacles. All right. The Hierophant clarified by the Eight of Pentacles. Now, the Hierophant energy has this labyrinth on the card, and he's getting all these divine downloads. All right. The Hierophant's getting all these divine downloads. And there's this labyrinth in front of him, and he's pointing to different runes. We've got the Tarian bull in the background with the bear and the lightning on the third eye. And I'm feeling like Spirit is calling you to put forth quite a grand effort. Quite a grand effort in your energy, because whether you're glowing up or dimming down, the effort's going to be in what you're doing. Okay, whether it's catching back up to improve or maintaining your new alignment and not slipping into old energy, old perspectives, old patterns of fear or worry or cowardice, right? I'm afraid to do what I need to do. Just, do it. Right? It's getting into this mode of just do it, right? Make the effort. So there's certain efforts that need to be made. And I think there's a great temptation to stagnate, which, if you're believing in slow and steady wins the race, it is not that time. It is not that time. Slow and steady wins the race is not that time, because we've got the Tower coming out hardcore with the Four of Swords. If you think that resting and not paying attention to the higher perspective is the right choice, it's going to blow up in your face. It's going to blow up in your face, like the universe is going to protect you from yourself. This is not a time for rest. This is not a time for stagnation. This is not a time to just say, okay, I don't have to do what I was going to do. I'm just going to do nothing. I'm just going to keep doing what I've always been doing. Spirit's like, yeah, no, that's not really acceptable, though. That's not really acceptable, though. You can't just continue like this. You can't just continue like this. You can't stagnate. You cannot become comfortable with what is not in alignment with your highest good. All right? It's not alignment. So person number 1, you could have significant or interesting Geminian placements with the 8 of Swords. You could have a special Taurian influence going on with what is going on in the cosmos, and whatever house rules or is ruled by Taurus for you, what you have in your house of Taurus, and Mars energy. So if you have a significant Mars placement, if Mars is popping off, that's probably indicative of what's going on in your chart. So you might have a very strong Mars placement. Okay? Might be person number 1. If you don't know who you are in this reading, you might just be person number 1. Significant Geminian, Taurian, or Mars placements with what is going on right now. The big focus for person 1 will be to remember a few things. 1, always remember the golden rule. Always remember the golden rule. Treat other people the way you would want to be treated. Including times when, if you, let's just say, needed discipline, how would you discipline yourself? What kind of discipline would you appreciate? What kind of discipline would you appreciate if you really, truly needed the discipline? Really think about the golden rule in the perspective of the highest good of all, no matter what that calls you to. So the golden rule, number 1. And 2, please remember everything happens for a divine reason. And it is to help you see what is going on in your inner world. Because if your inner world is full of lies to the self and deceiving the self and illusions and fear and accusations and, this person this, and you're going crazy and blah, 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 and you're bottling it all up in there, your outer experience is going to reflect your inner chaos. If your inner is chaotic, your outer is going to be chaotic. If your inner is feeling emotionally distraught and there's all upheaval, you're going to manifest realities where you are emotionally distraught and there's upheaval. Okay, because that's what your inner energy is going to creatively manifest in your outer. So be authentic, be inner peace oriented, And do not be afraid. Do not be afraid to be really honest with yourself about what you're seeing and not just what you're perceiving. Because what you're seeing with your two eyes it's not lying to you, what you're seeing. How you're perceiving, though, how you're perceiving what you're seeing, that's where the games get played inside the mind, and that's what you have to keep a reality check on. That's what you have to keep a reality check on. Is what I'm seeing potentially perceived in a different way? Is it possible to perceive what I'm seeing differently? Is it possible? It's like maybe you ask someone something to do something at a really terrible time and they're busy or they're running out the door and they don't have time to think about it right now. And so they walk out the door because they got to do what they're doing. And you're sitting there thinking, well, maybe they don't care about me. They didn't hear what I said. They don't care. They're disrespectful, blah, 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 blah. And you're going off, right, in your perception that this person's rude and this person didn't care about what you had to say or what you're dealing with. And really, it's just they were rushed. They were trying to get out the door. They had something else entirely on their mind, and you asked them at a really terrible time. And it has nothing to do with the fact that they don't care about you. It doesn't have anything they're not a rude person, but maybe you asked them at a really terrible time and hadn't talked to them since, because you've just been ruminating on the fact that they're terrible. So what you're seeing, make sure it can't be perceived any other way. Really open yourself up to see as many perspectives as you can instead of letting yourself get triggered into one perspective and then spiraling out on that perspective. Like, try and see a higher perspective with things. Really, really, especially if you're on the downward spiral, try and catch yourself before you truly do spin out of control and your outer reality starts to reflect the low vibrational chaos of your inner. All right. Take that how it resonates. Person number one, because you either really are on the up and up and you're opening doors and you're moving into a whole new beautiful reality with higher aligned people, higher aligned energies, where you can be more creative, right, in your manifestations with your new energy, or you're going to be spiraling out of control. Okay, person number one can go two ways. Getting into person number two. Person number two with Sylvanus and the Piper. All right, not even touching on the fact yet that Saturn is a truth card, okay? Person number two is 100% about the truth and the allure of the truth and how tempting it is to simply live in the awareness of what the truth is. Now, the Piper talks about song and melody and harmony and empathy, right? That the Piper sings songs, right? There are songs that he plays through his pipe, and that's the voice, right? Melodies and music it pulls on the soul. It touches in the soul. That's why we get goosebumps when we listen to certain music. That's why when we feel certain things on our inner levels, we listen to music in the outer experience that resonates with what we feel. Sometimes we used to be able to listen to certain songs that we loved and they resonated with us forever, no matter what mood they brought up for us, right? We loved those songs because they brought up certain things that we wanted to feel, where that music, that resonation might change. And we might not be drawn to the same songs. We might not resonate with them anymore. We might not want to. We might not want to. Sylvanus is all about the truth, the release of deception, and finding clarity, seeing clarity, right? Because Sylvanus holds the mask of truth. He is the Lord of the Woodlands, okay? He holds a mask of truth. And it says, I'm just going to read a quick excerpt from the book for you. It says, I thought it was very odd that there is a mask of truth. It seemed to me that we use masks to hide the truth rather than to reveal it. Oh no, Sylvanus assured me. First you put the mask on and hide, and then you take it off to reveal the truth. Very fairy. I see, I said, not certain I did, but not sure I wanted to either. Besides, Sylvanus continued, your face is not your truth. Sometimes faces need to be hidden so truth can be seen. Or sometimes you need to make a crack in consciousness, an aha moment, in order to see a truth you have been blind to. It says from before the time you were born, people have been projecting their ideas, hopes, fears, and confusions on us. And as we grow up, we accept many of these untrue projections as our reality, our partly false, partly true picture of ourselves. This person number 2 is what I would call someone who lives in such truth that they can't help. They can't help making enemies of those who live and thrive in lies. Whether the lies are the ones they're telling themselves or the ones they're telling other people or both. I can't help but feel like person number 2 makes enemies. I think they're extremely receptive. Because if you're in a vibration of truth, you are, in fact, extremely receptive. The things you need just find a way to you. You put the thought out into the universe. This is what I need. This is what I'm looking for. This is what I want to do. I trust you. Meaning, I trust my alignment. And it happens. And it happens. This is someone who lives in the vibration of truth. This is not about speaking perspectives that they feel or perceive are true. This is not about perception. There is only one truth, capital T. Everything else is perception. Person number 2 actually lives in the vibration or realm of truth, capital T. And pull that energy on others, okay? Not put it on others, but pull it on others. They pull it in that everybody has access to this truth, and person number 2 kind of like pulls that lever. It says, hey, the truth is here. Ta-da! Hey, that truth you've been ignoring. Ta-da! You know, like, because if you're not in alignment, things get shitty. Things get shitty. The stress doesn't go away. The pain doesn't go away. The fears don't go away. The insecurities don't go away. The feeling unworthy doesn't go away. Feeling alone doesn't go away. Person number 2 very much walks to the beat of capital T truth. And they sing a song. They play their pipe with their own authentic, I'm getting like this very raw energy of Nothing else matters but the truth, not even myself. Nobody else matters. It's just the truth that matters. I feel like this person probably takes a lot of heat for being egocentric or not caring how other people feel. They might have developed a reputation for not caring how their truth affects other people, because the truth is the truth and vibration is vibration. If you're in a shitty vibration, you can't hold a match to person number 2. Person number 2 is in such alignment with the truth that you will get burned, right? If you are not in alignment with person number 2, it's gonna hurt. It's gonna burn. You're going to feel betrayed. You're going to feel lied to. You're going to feel used and abused. You're going to feel stolen from and taken advantage of. You're going to feel all these things. And it's because person number 2 is flashing your mirror in front of you. Person number 2 is the epitome of, I am not what you think I am. You are what you think I am. You think person number 2 is a godsend, it's probably because you are. You think person number 2 is brilliant, it's probably because you are. If you think person number 2 is a fucking liar, it's probably because you are. If you think person number 2 took you for granted and exploited you and used you, that's because that's what you do. That's who you are. No, that's not me. Are you sure? What's the capital T truth? Not what you perceive. What's the actual truth of your choices, behavior, and the reasons why you've chosen those behaviors? Person number 2 demands with their song, their vibration, that you see the truth. Capital T truth. Insight with person number 2, we have the Hermit card, clarified by the Page of Wands. We have the Queen of Wands, clarified by the 3 of Wands, the 3 of Cups, clarified by the 7 of Swords in the reverse, and the Hierophant. So the Hierophant has showed up for both. One is a clarifier. Okay. So we have that Taurean energy on both sides, but this has a lot of fire. All right, we've got multiple wands here, which would lead me to believe that this person has some very serious fire in their chart. Starting with the Hermit. Now, if person number 1 is the guardian of the gate, person number 2 is walking through the door. Because you can see the Hermit is literally walking through a portal. There is a window, a divine sparkly window, a portal that opens up out of nowhere. So person number 1's alignment is either welcoming in person number 2 because they're in alignment with the truth, or they are opening a door, a divine door for person number 2 to walk out of because they are not in alignment with person number 2. Depending on which way person 1's cookie crumbled, right? Person number 2 is walking through the portal. They're the ones walking through the door, the gate. Person number 1 has opened the door, created the door, and person number 2 is walking through it. Whether they're walking in or walking out depends on person number 1. Person number 2 is walking through the gate. They are in the new realm, moving into the new realm, whether that is with person 1 or without person 1. Because person number 2's energy could be coming or going, depending on person number 1. This person is a Page of Wands energy. This is some Phoenix rising energy. This person is fresh hot in their alignment. They have lots of really strong, powerful animal totems here. Okay. Mind you, person number 1 had eagle, bull, bear, and lion. Plus there's also rabbit and cat and dove. Okay. Person number 2 has owl, dragon, jaguar, lion, elk, bear, and hummingbirds. Those are the different animal spirit medicines for person 2. Really strong animal totems. This person is definitely solo. Definitely solo. Definitely in their dragon energy. Okay. They're really on another level. Okay. Person number 2 is really on another level. And honestly, with the dragon there, I can't help but feel as though there's coin and or abundance coming into this person's energy. Some type of saving, financial saving with the dragon. The Queen of Wands with the Three of Wands. Again, with this journey energy, right? Three of Wands is journey energy. This is a divine feminine heart space in the suit of spirit, right? With the fire of the wands. This is someone's heart space who is on fire, manifesting. Okay, person number 2. I feel like it's their own inner world, right? Their own inner feminine that's on fire in their own inner world, and it's a purging fire, and I feel like that's what's manifesting in their outer. Person number 2 is a spiritual force to be reckoned with. They are the maker and breaker of mirrors. I will put it that way. Person number 2 is the maker and the breaker of mirrors. And I feel like they have everything to celebrate right now with the Three of Cups coming out with that Seven of Swords in the reverse and the Hierophant card clarifying it. Seven of Swords in the reverse, again, is truth, because the Seven of Swords upright is deception and thieves. This person is celebrating the truth and being able to hold on to, maintain, and or grow without thieves, energy thieves. This person is married to the self, first off. Person number 2 is married to the self. I would not be surprised if they end up manifesting marriage, a partnership with someone who is on their level. They might be walking into person number 1's reality, depending on their person number 1 being on the up and up. Because I think if person number 1 spiraled out of control and they went downhill, they are not in alignment with person number 2. They're not. They're going to dive down some fucking rabbit hole and have to come out the other side at some point, right? And wake up from their deep, dark la-la land. But if person number 1 is on the up and up, and person number 2 is in the alignment that they are, and person 1 on the up and up created a portal or doorway to meet person number 2 on their level, that they're actually in fucking alignment, I think these two will end up getting married. Like, legit. I would put money on that. If you thought you were person number 1 on the up and up, you are walking into person number 2's reality. And person number 2 is going to be really grateful that you're on their level, because not many people are. Not many people are. They probably come off really brutish and self-centered to other people, because other people don't understand energetic alignment and vibration. Like, you get what you give, energetically speaking. You get what you give. This person is aware of that. Person number 2 is aware that you get what you give. If you're in a fucked up alignment, person number 2 has no problem appearing being fucked up or choosing fucked up things. No problem being judged by the lower people. It's like, oh, you think what I did is fucked up? All right. Maybe that person deserved what was fucked up. You don't see it that way, it's not my fucking problem. The truth is the truth with a capital T. I can't believe that you did this to that person. You walked out on this person. They blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I did. Alignment's alignment. Capital T truth is capital T truth. They didn't deserve my presence. Period. Person number 2 has no problem tuning into their heart space, what their heart space wants. And if their heart space says, I don't like this, then they're fucking out. And they don't care what that means to anybody else in the outer experience, because everybody else in the outer experience is manifesting from their own inner vibration. And people are either going to understand it and be drawn to them and follow their lead, or they're not. Or they're not. Person number 2 gives no fucks. You couldn't pay them to. You couldn't pay them to. I think person number 1s that are on the up and up are going to be really, really grateful for person number 2. And vice versa. And vice versa. I think that person number 1's on the downward spiral, that person number 2 is exiting their reality. I think it's going to be extremely fucking painful. I think it's going to be extremely painful for person number 1, and I think person number 2 is going to give no fucks. No fucks whatsoever. Because they're out. That alignment, it's not even going to touch them. It's not even going to touch them. They've exited stage left. This person has better things to manifest than the bullshit, whatever, of downward spiraling person 1s. So, for these 2, the guidance. Person number 1 got Victory of Miriam. And I want to read the poem to you in the book. It says, if you are longing to caress the moon, don't turn away from it. If you are not ill, why do you crawl under a blanket to hide? You are in a quarry of sweets. Why do you look so sour? You live in the spring of life. Why are you withered inside? Don't fight against yourself. Don't flee from what could be your glory. Like a fearless moth, dive into the flame. Why be linked to your obsessions? Burn out in the flames until your heart and soul are enlightened. Get out of the old carcass and form yourself a new body. Why are you afraid of a fox when you descend from lions? Why be a lame ass when you have the strength of stallions? The beloved you seek will arrive to open the door to your fortune, for love is the key that opens all your locks. Think about this poem, because I feel like person number one's on the up and up. They've already embraced this guidance. The guidance is an affirmation of their current energy. For those on the downward spiral, it's asking you to let go of your old self completely. Completely. It's talking about opening the door. The beloved you seek will arrive to open the door to your fortune, for love is the key that opens all your locks. This is someone who comes in unconditionally speaking. If person number one's on the downward spiral or losing person number two, I think they have to realize that person number two came with unconditional love. That's what truth is, with a capital T. Truth with a capital T is unconditional love. They're one and the same. Person number two is probably trying to get person number one's on the downward to not be on the downward. They were kind of calling you to rise to their vibration and meet them on their level. And if you insisted on spiraling out, well, then you insisted on spiraling out. There's not much that person number two can do if you've insisted on spiraling out and walking alone as opposed to uniting with them. And that's the truth. With a capital T. So the guidance, victory of Miriam for person number one. It says this oracle brings you a message of affirmation and success. Your victory is already assured. You're being led into it now. No matter if you believe it is not possible and you are placing more faith in the appearance of distraction or obstacle than in utter success. No matter if you have forgotten for a moment that the divine lives in you, as you, and that apparent failure is only a part of the process, the plan through which learning happens, serving the ultimate holy victory. Yes, your victory is inevitable. Every challenge and adventure is an opportunity for you to test your mettle and to be what you are in truth. You need what you need as a living, holy expression of the greatest love. Whatever may be troubling you is not a situation or a circumstance meant to bring you trouble. It is not what it appears to be that is the source of challenge for you, not at all. It is only how you are viewing the situation. Can you allow yourself to shift perspective? Yes. You know this is truth. To forget for a moment that you are divinity, and to lapse into erroneous belief that the challenges are more real than the love they veil. No. The real challenge is in the attitude, not in any circumstance or situation. All that is perfectly designed to help you fulfill your being, live your truth, experience your power, and reside in the perfection of your divine loving heart. What is loving, seeking to draw out of you now? This oracle brings you guidance and comfort. Whatever is going on in your life right now, whether it brings you joy or deepest struggle, is the divine in you, as you, breaking through into your life. Do not hesitate to trust in it. Embrace it fully and let it have its way. You are safe to be alive. Live it with love and let it unfold. There is also a part of you that is daring to love, to live, and to trust more so than ever before. You are even daring to quit the traumatic tendency to relive so many past hurts and aches. You are less frightened of yourself, so you do not need to sabotage yourself anymore. You are learning love's way and claiming it as your own. Your path to victory is assured. So trust in your growing optimism. The struggle is behind you now. You just rest and enjoy the golden glow as you rest with love a long, long while. Like I said, this is either confirmation of the attitude of person number 1 on the up and up, knowing all of these things, knowing their success is assured, knowing that challenges are only a part of the process, not freaking out because their attitude isn't a problem. They haven't lost sight of the fact that they are a divinity, that life is not against them but working for them and realigning everything in their favor. Or it's the mindset that they need to get in because they're person number 1 on the downward, right? It's the mindset they need to get into. This is the guidance energy. So confirmation or truly guidance, depending on what side of person number 1 you're on. The universe is not working against you. See, your success is assured all the time. The universe will constantly show you that if your energy is shit, your reality is shit. When your energy is great, your reality is great. When your energy trusts in its alignment, you can trust the outer experience to align you with whatever you need, with whatever is available. All right, this is the guidance and or confirmation for person number 1. Right, stay in this vibration of success, stay in this vibration of transmutation, stay in this vibration of new and walking through the open doors and not stagnating and allowing the old to fall away so that your new can really truly glow and be born, right? That you can walk into this new chapter feeling really good about the surprises Spirit has in store, right? Not being worried or afraid, but looking forward to it, right? The joy of it. Now for person number 2, we have Saturn, which is the truth card. Card number 6. And the Saturn card, if you're familiar with Greek mythology, Saturn is Kronos. And Kronos is the god that essentially ate his own children. Okay. And he was seen as very cruel, but and with no mercy at that. But it simply points out to what is true and cuts away what is delusional or no longer useful. This card is a reminder of divine order and that things are done by the book, according to the 12 universal laws, right? Divine alignment. There is nothing outside the 12 universal laws. That is the divine book. That is the divine order. So truth with a capital T is to remember, especially, because we're looking at this possibly as a oneness reading, divine duality. Your masculine aspect who chooses and does, and that's where the willpower is always constantly doing and choosing in alignment with the truth of your energy. It does show no mercy. No mercy, even if it's perceived as cruel, because the rules are the rules. Truth, capital T, runs in accordance with the divine laws, the 12 universal laws. Know that This guidance is simply a reminder to play by the rules, to acknowledge when things are going down or things are challenging, to remember your alignment and play by the rules. Like, if you were to get pulled over because you were speeding, the last thing you're gonna fucking do is sass the cop that pulled you over. Why would you give the officer a hard time? You were fucking speeding. You know you shouldn't have been speeding. The officer was doing its job. If you manifested a ticket because your energy is manifesting a ticket because there's loss and lack of money that's tied along with that, you know, the stress of points against your record, well, then why are you in a vibration of lack and punishment that you would manifest that experience? Why would you be arrogant with a police officer instead of apologetic? I'm sorry, officer, I know I was speeding. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have been, and you're right. You were right pulling me over. I'm sorry. Like, there's different ways you can react to things that choose, right? Masculine energy, choose outcomes. If you start sassing a police officer, you're more likely to get the ticket. If you accept immediately that you are out of alignment and realign yourself and make better aligned choices, the officer might be like, all right, well, listen, I'm going to let you go this time, but really don't let me catch you speeding down here again. Be grateful. Maintain your alignment, right? In capital T, truth. When Saturn shows up as guidance, it is asking you to be a teacher and a student, and remember how blessed you are. Remember how blessed you are. That is the divine order of things. You're lucky to be here learning about alignment and energy in this human form. There is no such thing as unlucky here. You're not unlucky. You might be misaligned, but you're not unlucky. That's the reminder with Saturn's card. If you're person number 1, then you might want to recognize where person number 2 is at, because this guidance or confirmation for them is divine law. That's what they're running on, divine law. And for the truth to stay in alignment, for person number 2 to stay in alignment, it has to consistently remember this guidance. For person number 2 to stay in alignment, they have to consistently be consciously aware and remember this guidance. And I don't think they have a problem with that. It's not difficult. It's not difficult. It's just a matter of letting that energy click, letting that conscious awareness click, and letting it be a way of perceiving that there is no other perception. There is no other truthful, capital T, truthful perspective outside of this one. That everything is divinely aligned energetically per divine order. And so long as you can keep in mind that everything is divinely ordered per your energetic alignment, if you can live in conscious awareness of the 12 universal laws, you will never be misaligned with the vibration of person number 2, nor will person number 2 ever fall out of alignment, right? The 12 universal laws need to be made consciously aware of within the self and be a way of life. It's not just something you remember when it's convenient. It demands self-ownership. Demands it. You cannot remain in the alignment of person number 2 if you don't self-own. Please keep it in mind. Not only does this energy serve as a reminder to person number 2, it also comes with a little bit of a energetic warning that if you fuck with person number 2, like you energetically try and fuck with person number 2, and person number 2 has to maintain their alignment because of you, because your energy is purposefully trying to off-put them, or you're casting ill words at them or about them. Please understand, you are asking for a shit show in your own reality. If you are casting ill words at or about person number 2 for being in alignment, you're going to manifest some fucking shit. You don't fuck with people in high alignments. You don't get to trash people in high alignments and not have that energy like ricochet right back at you and manifest right back at you. Like your inner reflecting in your outer it's like 20 times faster. If you're in shit energy, it's going to manifest 20 times faster if you're talking shit on the energetic alignment of people like person number 2. Just be forewarned. Per merciless divine order. If your alignment is shit, your alignment is shit. If you don't understand person number 2 to the point that you are trashing person number 2, talking shit on person number 2, can't believe person number 2, and you're gossiping and blah, 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 and plotting against person 2 to make person 2's life hard, the universe is going to align for person number 2. They're going to come out unscathed, and everything that you coulda, shoulda, woulda been doing, it's going to fall apart or blow back in your face. Because that's your alignment. Your alignment is shit energy. It's not self-owning. It's blaming. It's malicious. It's petty. It's going to blow back at you. Especially when you were not seeing the truth, capital T, of person number 2 in the unconditionally loving vibration they were in to begin with. I'm telling you right now. I've seen it. I have seen it. You don't fuck with the alignment of people like person number 2. That's like divinely protected type energy. Them walking around in a protective bubble because no one can touch their energy, and they know it because they're in control of their energy. And they're consciously aware of it. You can't fuck with them. So, be in that alignment, right? Be in that alignment. No one can fuck with my energy because I own my energy. I own my alignment. I own my creation. I own my flow. It's my freedom, my right to choose what I manifest. And it's based on my energy, and my energy is my choice. Our free will choice, we get to choose what our energetic alignment is. After that, that's all divine order. You get what you give. You receive the energy you put out. So if this message has caught you in divine time, I have faith it will serve you well, either when you're watching it or in hindsight, especially if you rewatch it, a couple weeks later. The rewatch a couple weeks later with any of my readings is always pretty jaw-dropping. Just saying. So, keep it in mind. Whenever you catch this, you might want to save it or send it to yourself somewhere where you're going to see it in a couple weeks, because don't say I didn't tell you in divine time. You'll know if you're person 1 or person 2. or how both of these energies played out in your reality. You'll see. So make sure you drop a like. If you haven't already, leave me a comment in the description. Let me know how it resonated, whether you're catching it now for the first time or if you're watching the replay in a couple weeks. Let me know how it hit home for you. Know that I appreciate you and love you greatly for all the support you show my content and all the sharing that goes out and everything else. I greatly appreciate each and every one of you very much, and I hope you have a blessed future, whether I cross your path again or this is the one time my energy gets to greet you. Thank you for your presence, and I'll see you all again next time. Take care.